Okay, so let's have a chat. So about 3 months ago, I told myself I was going to race a motorbike no matter what, no plan B, and I was super motivated. However, I almost just gave up on it all, and I was literally one click away from booking a flight back to Australia, which would mean no more racing, no more YouTube, and no more chasing this dream that I have. Luckily though, I haven't done that. I just had quite a few setbacks that made me question the whole thing, and I kind of doubted myself. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what exactly led me to get to that breaking point, what I've learned, and how I got myself back on track. And also I'm going to share some tips with you that might help you if you're on a similar journey to me. Because I can almost guarantee at some point on your journey, you're going to get this feeling of quitting. And if we don't know how to handle it, then we'll just give in. Okay, so I think the best place to start is to talk about all the things that led me to get this feeling of wanting to give up. Because really it was just a result of a lot of smaller inconveniences that kind of built up into this massive giant problem. Because I think if you really want something, in my case it's racing, one or two small inconveniences isn't gonna put you off. However, 5 or 6 different things can start to feel out of control and I guess hard to handle. So I guess step 1 is just try and identify all the small things that are making you feel like quitting. So yeah, literally write them down on a paper. That's exactly what I've done, and I'm actually going to share with you now all the things that I wrote down on my list. Number 1, a £3,000 bill out of nowhere. Okay, so this is actually quite a big problem that I've got. It's not so much a small inconvenience, but this is like the major thing that made me feel like quitting. So yeah, basically the old job that I had about 6 months ago sent me a letter out of the blue saying that they had overpaid me and that I owed them basically £3,000. So if you watch my other video, you'd know that I had about £4,000 saved for a race bike, and that's basically just been taken away from me. And honestly, I feel like I'm back to square one. And yeah, you can imagine I wasn't very happy about this. However, I have to accept it. I've looked into it, there's nothing I can do, I have to pay the bill. But I'm going to talk later on in the video about how I'm going to get this savings back. Number 2, not liking my last 2 videos. Okay, so now we're getting into the smaller inconveniences. So the last 2 videos that I uploaded onto my channel, I just didn't like. Honestly, I didn't like it when I was filming it. I could kind of tell it was bad. And then I was editing it and I could tell it was bad. But yeah, I just wasn't happy with them, and I felt like I was making them just to be consistent. Also, the last video I made had loads of technical problems and I had to redo things. And this just made me feel like video creation and YouTube and this kind of stuff just wasn't for me. I wasn't enjoying it. I'm bad at it. And after that, I just kind of didn't have any desire to pick up a camera again. Number 3, not being able to easily ride the pit bike. Basically, with my job that I have at the moment, all the days that I could be riding the pit bike are days that I'm working. Now, of course, there are ways around this, but again, it's just like inconvenience that just makes me kind of lose a bit of motivation. For example, if I know it's going to be a sunny Sunday afternoon with perfect track conditions, I can't just book onto a pit bike track day thing because I'm working that day at 6 PM. So yeah, it's literally just another barrier that's made me lose a bit of motivation because I'd have to book time off work 4 weeks in advance. And at that point, you don't know what the weather's going to be like. Yeah, it's just a barrier. Number 4, recording at home or at public. So this one, I feel like I'm exposing myself a little bit. I hate recording if people can hear me. So right now I'm at home, but like no one's at home. My neighbours aren't even at home, and I feel really comfortable recording. But it becomes a barrier for me when I know there's people in the house or there's neighbours or something like that can hear me recording. I don't know, it kind of like cringes me out, and I feel like I talk with less confidence and I talk a bit more quietly. And it's probably one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy the last 2 videos, because I was recording them in my garage when I had people at home and my neighbours are next door and everyone can hear me talking to myself to a camera. So yeah, it's a little bit stupid, that one, but it is a barrier and it's something I need to work on. So if anyone does have tips about that, then let me know in the comments. And number 5, how I see myself now versus in Australia. So every now and then I go through my camera roll and I have a look at the pictures of me a year ago in Australia. And when I look back at these pictures, honestly, I have just a huge sense of pride about myself. I'm so proud of the 21, 22-year-old me that went to Australia on his own and just made things work. And at the time I felt that pride, and when I look back now, I can feel that pride. And then I look at my life back here in England since, and I just don't have this sense of pride in myself. Like, I live at home, I'm working a dead-end job at Tesco, and I'm not living a life that I want to live, that I'm proud of. And to be honest, racing just feels so far away. And yeah, it's been just over a year since I came back from Australia, and in a way I kind of feel like I've gone a little bit backwards in life rather than forwards, which is quite a hard pill to swallow. So of course, with this feeling in consideration, you can understand why I thought running back to Australia would fix this feeling. Okay, so we've identified all the individual problems, and I mean, that's great. But it's also important to say that in the moment, you don't always actually realize what's going on. I think you just kind of feel a bit off or a little bit unmotivated, or I guess lazy. That's kind of how I felt. And I think your brain just starts to tell you that quitting is like the best option, or there's a better option for you. So my advice would be not to make a big decision if you're not feeling 100%. So yeah, I would say at least give yourself 1 or 2 days before you make any kind of decision. Usually your perspective changes. Mine definitely did. Because yeah, I nearly booked a flight to Australia when I was just feeling unproud about myself and a little bit down, a little bit unhappy. And if I had done that, I would have made a huge permanent decision based on quite a temporary feeling. And also for me personally, when I had this feeling of going back to Australia, like I said, I took basically 2 days before I actually made the decision. And in that time, I also went away. I went and did a little hike where I could kind of clear my head and think a little bit more clearly. So also I think that's important. So before I tell you what I'm going to change in my life moving forward, I also just want to tell you what actually stopped me from quitting. Because in step 1, you figure out what things are making you feel like quitting. But knowing that doesn't necessarily stop you from quitting. In fact, it can kind of be evidence for you to quit. So step 2 is to ask yourself again, what do you actually want in life? So to figure this out, I asked myself some questions. I asked myself, in 1 year's time, when I look back, what action would I do now that I'd be most proud of? When I'm 80 years old, what decision would I regret the most? And what's your vision of life in 1 year's time or in 5 years' time? These questions help me realize that racing, that pushing my limits, the adrenaline, living a life that I feel like is impossible in this moment right now, helping normal people like me get into racing. These are all the things that I really want to achieve in my life. And getting through this hard patch without giving in would make me feel the most proud, more proud than going back to Australia. And also I was really lucky because right in this moment as well, I had a bit of external help right when I needed it. And it was that a subscriber called Christopher, if you're watching, gave me a donation. And this was honestly so much more than financial help. This helped me in so many more ways. I guess to believe in myself and to keep going with this. So if you're watching, Christopher, thank you so much. You've helped me to feel motivated and to carry on. Okay, so that leads us to step 3, which is to make a plan. So now we have all our problems and inconveniences listed out, which was step 1, and that we know we actually want to carry on with this journey, which is step 2. So now we need to resolve each of these problems so we don't continue to feel like quitting. So again, next to your problems, write down ways you can fix it. And this is exactly what I've done as well. So I'm going to share with you all the ways I'm going to fix all the little problems I got. So number 1, a new job in a new industry that I'm proud of and earns me more money. So the part-time job at Tesco is not going to work anymore. There's basically 2 reasons for this. One is that I'm not making enough money to get my savings back. And number 2 is that it goes back to that point of feeling proud. And personally, working at Tesco doesn't make me feel too proud about myself. I'm just being honest. So on my days off from Tesco, I started working a new job, which is basically like a trainee tree surgeon or arborist. And at the moment, I'm starting off as just a groundsman, and my plan is to learn and try and work my way up a little bit. And I went for this job because it's very similar to the jobs that I had in Australia, and all the jobs I had in Australia made me feel proud. I actually really liked all my jobs in Australia. And although this job is very physically draining, when I get home from it, I actually feel like I have so much energy. And to be honest, it feels like the energy that I had when I was in Australia. I'm starting to feel a little bit more like myself again, like I'm getting this just natural energy, this natural drive. So yeah, I'm really happy with this change. And number 2, start riding my pit bike again. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to quit my Tesco job and I'm going to go into this tree surgery job full time. And by doing this, it's going to eliminate my problem of not being able to get on the pit bike, because now I'll have my Wednesday evenings free, my Sunday evenings free. I think there's a pit bike night on Monday evenings as well. So all of this means I get to go on the pit bike again. And this will really give me a sense of purpose and constant reassurance that this is actually what I want to do. Like being on the bike, when you're on the bike, it just feels so good. So I need to be on the bike more often. Number 3, don't stress over consistency right now. So unfortunately, I'm not exactly where I want to be, right? I can't make the videos I want to make. So I don't have a race bike. I'm not competing in races or in some kind of championship. And these are the videos I actually want to make. And right now I'm not able to make these types of videos. And when I do arrive there, then consistency will be a bigger thing for me. But right now I feel like it's best to just make videos that I actually feel like making, that I'm actually proud of making, that I think are actually good to make, to put onto YouTube. So this might be videos of me on my pit bike. It might be how I'm training physically, or bit of like updates on my journey. But I'm going to stop making videos just for the sake of making videos. Finally, number 4, move out of my parents' house. So in my other video I made, I got a lot of comments saying, why on earth would you move out of your parents' house? You're stupid, you're wasting money. And of course all the people commenting were trying to help because they're right. I would save a lot more money being at home. However, since having this new job, it's really made me realise personally just how important it is to have this energy in life. And it's kind of going back to the feeling of being proud. I think that's where I get my energy in life, is when I'm feeling proud about myself. And I know moving out of my parents' house would give me more of this feeling that I had when I lived in Australia. And I kind of see rent as like a monthly investment to feel like an independent man and to feel motivated, which in the long term will be a lot more beneficial than saving money on rent. Okay, so those are all the things that I'm going to change in my life going forward. So hopefully I can arrive to my dream of racing motorbikes. It's going to be a very, very long process, but I'm going to make sure I keep you updated on this channel with my journey, all the ups and all the downs. And I also hope this video helped any of you if you felt a bit unmotivated. Hopefully there were some practical ways of fixing that in this video. And if you're interested about my journey to becoming a racer, I've got a whole series on my channel called Road to Racer, where I'm documenting absolutely everything. So make sure you watch those videos and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video, so goodbye.